humans, Disney fans, lend me your ears. Today we're going to be talking to my friend Lissett, who is also my running trainer. She'll be talking about running, I'll be running my mouth. It's going to be fun. Let's do this. All right, before we get into a great conversation with Lissett, I want to tell you a little bit about my ears. They are from Michelle over at Party Decor you adore. And not only does she make Mickey ears, but she also makes handmade party decor. She said that her ears are mainly floral based and they can be designed around a character or holiday festivals. So she said they're absolutely perfect for anyone who's looking to go to the park as a Disney bounder. Thank you, Michelle at Party Decor you adore, for lending your ears. So hey everybody, today we have Lissett Lineberry joining us. She is training me in my half marathon running adventure. And she has been a running coach for about 3.5 years now. She's been certified. She and her husband run the podcast called Running Couple Podcast. If you want to learn more about them, you can look that up. But let's go ahead and welcome her. Everybody say hello to Lissett.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Melanie. I'm so excited.
Thank you for coming on the show. I am excited also. And the first thing I have to ask before I get to any of my official questions is you have to tell me about your ears. We always talk about the ears at the top of the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, your show is about the ears. So I got these this past January. I did the Dopey Challenge, which is running a 5K on Thursday, a 10K on Friday, the half marathon on Saturday, and the full marathon on Sunday.
Wow.
And when you cross the finish line for the full marathon, before they give you the marathon medal, you get a set of marathon ears. I did not know this until I crossed the finish line. So I'm very proud of these. I've actually earned.
So do you have to run the Dopey Challenge to get the marathon ears? Or
no,
just if you run the marathon?
This is just the marathon.
Okay. So what about, do I get some for the half marathon?
No, sorry.
Maybe just like a hat with just one ear, since it's a half marathon?
You'll have to talk to runDisney about that.
I think that'd be great.
It'd be cool if it was like the ears you have where they're the headband ears,
yes.
like a half. Would be cool, but no, you don't earn ears for the half
marathon. Okay, well maybe someday I'll fiddle around with the idea of a marathon. Whew, I don't know, one step at a time.
But the medal for the half is very nice.
Ooh, so, yeah. Cool. Well, I'm excited. Okay, so I have some actual legitimate questions for you here. We will start why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, what sorts of things do you do for fun when you're not running? Tell us a little bit about Lissett.
Okay, well, so I'm a mom of 4. And my oldest is 17, so we're now doing the whole college search thing.
Yeah.
So right now, what I do for fun is, go visit colleges with my 17-year-old and also help her learn how to drive. I don't know how much fun that is, but as a mom,
but it's necessary, right? Yeah.
I've been running since 2013. My very first race was a 5K on January 1st. It was called Commitment Day, and my husband and I ran it, and it took us over an hour to run.
Okay.
Walked most of it. Felt like I was dying when I crossed the finish line, but that was my very first race. And since then, I've run, hundreds of 5Ks, a lot of 10Ks, about 6 10-milers, a good 22 half marathons, and 7 full marathons, and 1 50K since 2013.
So there's definitely been a lot of upward growth since 2013. You can definitely tell throughout your journey how much you've progressed. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So then what are you currently training for? I want to hear about this.
Well, currently I am registered to run the Army 10-miler on October the 13th. But I'm not going to really be racing it because due to a lot of overtraining for last year's 50K and the Dopey Marathon, I did too much and I injured myself. So I have a tendonitis in my left ankle that I'm trying to recover from and get better. So that way I have bigger goals for next year. I promised a friend of mine that for his 50th birthday that we would run the JFK 50-miler, and that's in November. So I know I'm still trying to wrap my head around that distance. And in order to qualify for that race, I actually have to run a marathon in under 5 hours. So
wow.
my first goal is to run a marathon in under 5 hours. The closest I've gotten to is 5 hours and 12 minutes. So, I have to cut 13 minutes from my time.
Okay. But that sounds like, man, I'm excited for you. That's such a huge goal. And I'm sure your friend is super appreciative that you're on board with that with him. That is great. So veering off just a second, because you talked about overtraining, what can runners do to guarantee, I guess there is no guarantee, but what can runners do to try to make sure they are not injuring themselves by overdoing it? What are the warning signs that, I'm overdoing it?
Well, they're twinges of pain that, we tend to ignore.
Okay.
And so don't ignore them.
Okay.
It's basically your body.
At what point would it be wise to go to like a physical therapist or something like that to get some of that worked out?
If you are in pain for about 2 weeks and then you take a week off and it doesn't get better after that, you really
that's woo. Warning. Yeah. Yes, emergency. Okay, very good. Well, thanks. That was something I was wondering about as, I've just barely begun to run. But I'm like, at my last run that I did, toward the end, I was like, my back is kind of hurting. And I was thinking, is this a pain that I need to push through? Or is this like, no, stop. Your body's telling you that, like, you're overdoing it.
Right.
So
for that, it could be, your back muscles are starting to form, as you're running. And so with your core, if you don't have a strong core, you also don't have a strong back muscle. So, you will have pain. Okay. But if it's pain more like in your spine than like the sides of your back where your muscles are, that's a warning sign that, it could be, one of the discs in your spine. You see a chiropractor or see a doctor. Okay. Someone that, if you are going to see someone and you're a runner, I'd recommend, talking around and finding a doctor that is a runner.
Oh, interesting.
Because they will understand, because other doctors will just tell you, well, just don't run. That's what they'll tell you.
Well, that's not an option. I'm already signed up for this race.
Yeah. So you want to find a doctor that either works with elite athletes or is him or herself an athlete, runner, triathlete, competitive tennis player, someone that is,
does sports. Gets it. Okay. So I am going to get muscles everywhere though, right? I'm not just going to be like ripped in my back, right? That'd be weird.
Well, your butt will be looking nice. You'll have some great jeans. I always say, I'm training for good jean weather. And in the winter when I'm training for good bikini weather,
Perfect. All right. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Okay. So on to the next question. I know you spoke about how many races you've run total, but how many of those were runDisney races? And how many of those have you completed, runDisney specifically?
I have completed all 4 of the runDisney races. So in 2015, we did, my husband and I, the Wine and Dine. That November that year to celebrate our 16th wedding anniversary. And we both wore the wedding ears. So I had the white veil ears during the race, and he had the black top hat ears for the race.
That's very so cute.
Fun. But that race, there was a big storm, so they cut the course in half. We couldn't run through Animal Kingdom because the storm had spooked the animals. So it's technically a half of a half that we ended up running.
Okay.
And then the following spring, we ran the very first Star Wars runDisney race that they had. So we did the inaugural of that. And then the following year, I ran the Disney Princess with a bunch of girlfriends. Moms, we took the weekend, we left the kids, left the husbands, and went down and ran the Disney Princess. And I did the challenge that year, which is the 10K on Saturday and the half on Sunday. Wow. And then the following year from that, that's when I did the Walt Disney World, the Dopey Challenge for the marathon and everything.
Okay, so can you show us some of your, what do they call it, like bling, race bling, or something?
My race bling. Yes. Let's see what I asked my husband to grab the stuff. So he grabbed me the medals from this past Walt Disney World, the Dopey Challenge.
Okay, I love how they're clanging. That's making me happy. I love the sound.
Here they all are together, but I will go in order. So for the 5K, we have Oswald here.
The lucky rabbit. Awesome.
Yes. And then the 10K is Miss Minnie Mouse. It's
Oh
actually
my
one of my favorite
goodness,
ones.
that one is darling. I love
very
it.
shiny. He's got like this like really determined, badass Minnie face. I really, really like it. Then the half is Donald's race.
I did hear that. Awesome.
Yes. So you'll get a Donald medal. And then the full is Mickey. And Mickey spins.
Oh my goodness, that is phenomenal. Looks like he's running.
He looks like he's running. Yep. So
that is
really
the
love
best.
that. And then when you run the half and the full, it's called the Dopey Challenge. So you also get a Goofy Challenge.
Oh, okay, Goofy.
So
there he
it's
is,
the Goofy Challenge.
And
then when you run all of the races is the Dopey Challenge, and then you get your Dopey medal.
There he is. Aw. He looks so happy, but he's actually dopey. I feel like when I complete this race, I'm going to be so proud. I'm going to want to wear my medal everywhere. I'm going to be like, look, you see my medal?
Yeah.
I got a medal. I ran a lot.
Everyone
do you see my medal?
at the parks wear their medals.
No, I mean like day to day, like I'm in my hometown, like in the grocery store. Like, you see my medal?
Yes, wear your medal. Yes, absolutely. You wear it.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I remember
go ahead.
When I completed my first half marathon, I wanted to wear that sucker all the time.
I think that's how I'm gonna be. So tell me what makes a Run Disney race different or better than your average race that you would run.
Well, it's Disney. Disney does everything, and magically,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So just for starters, their expo is amazing.
Okay.
I've been able to experience the evolution of their expos, where it used to be all in one building, and you had the Disney merchandise and the Race Expo merchandise all in one building. It was very crazy and very crowded. Now they have it in 3 different buildings.
Wow.
So the ESPN Wild World of Sports is where they do the Race Expo.
I was just going to ask, where is that located? Okay.
Yeah. So in the basketball building, they have one. The ice hockey rink is another one.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you go to one building to get your bib and your shirts, and then you go to a completely other building to see the different expo, people that are there, to sell you all that, shoes, watches,
yes.
It's like an expo. Yeah, hats. And then Disney now is in its own building for the Disney race swag, and you get the Disney race shirt, extra stuff that you're going to buy.
Of a budget should I have set aside just for like swag and merch that I'm going to want to buy while I'm there?
I don't know if I want to say this out loud. Zach might kill me.
Yes, Zach is my husband. Yes, he might. I'm looking at him right behind the camera, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Budget money."
Say you want to bring some money with you.
Okay.
To buy stuff.
And we can leave it at that. Some money. Just be prepared to spend a little bit of money at the expo. Yeah. Okay, so tell me, when you're obviously a running coach. When you are interacting with someone who's like super on the fence about, I've kind of thought about running before, but I don't know. What would be your biggest piece of advice to someone who's trying to decide whether or not to jump in and say, I'm going to run?
Well, first I talk to them and like, well, why do you think running is hard? I want them to tell me all of the negative that they've built up in their mind that running, like if it's an anxiety issue or if it's just like, I don't know if I can do it. My shoes are old, that you'll get. So when you start training for your first marathon, you're going to find people that will tell you, the guy who ran the very first marathon died after he did it. I mean, you're going to get that, right? It's the Greek guy that ran the marathon.
Yeah.
You know why he died?
Why? Because he didn't train.
He died because he did not train for it. He didn't spend 20 weeks, building up the mileage to make that run. He was running at full speed to tell his people that, people were coming to kill them, So he had a heart attack and died because he wasn't trained for that.
Right.
So that's my response. I sit down with him and we have a conversation and I listen. And then I say, well, But if you have a goal, the only way you're going to achieve that goal is to do what you want to do. So if you really want to run a 5K, you need to train and try it. You don't know you're not going to like it until you do it. And usually you're not going to know if you like it until you do 2 of them, because the first one could be just crap.
Okay.
I mean, my first marathon experience was not the best marathon experience.
Okay.
I ended up running in 85-degree weather. That's no fun.
Yeah.
And, if I based everything on that, I would have never run a marathon. I mean, again, this is why I have 4 children, right? If I stopped at the first child, I wouldn't have 3 other children.
True story. Yes.
So I sit down and have a conversation with someone. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that someone has said, you know what? Yes, I'm in. I'm going to do it. I'm going to, kind of like I said a few weeks ago, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to run. So what are the first steps to begin that journey?
Well, the first step for me, if they're talking to me, I say, all right, so what's your goal? Okay. You need an end point, right? So I don't just say, all right, well, we'll just go out and run. I'm like, all right, well, a 5K. So let's find a 5K that you want to run. And then we register for that race, because until you pay for that commitment, you're not going to really do anything.
True story.
You're going to hem and haw about it until cows come home. Yeah. So we find a race that, they want to run. They register for the race. And then if it's a 5K, it's a typical about 8 weeks training plan for a 5K. And then if they want me to coach them, I will set up the training plan for them and guide them through the process. Every person I train is different. I have people that all they want is a training plan and they don't really want to talk with me.
Okay.
I have one, before you, I have a client, she's training first marathon. I mean, we talk almost every week.
Okay.
She needs that weekly motivation. I have one that we text every day. She'll text me, how her workouts and how she feels, and then I
accountability.
Everybody's different, and I meet everybody's needs, and then my fees are according to people's needs. I don't have a flat rate.
I see.
Don't work that way.
Okay.
If they don't want to coach, then they ask me what they need to do. Well, I'll say there's plenty of free online training that you can get. You can download and go to. I went with Hal Higdon. I like his methodology. If you want to do the run walk with Jeff Galloway, he's the big Disney run coach.
I was just going to say, I'm like smiling and nodding, but you're saying these names. Like, I don't know who that is.
You have no idea who I'm name dropping, but these are really high level run coaches, elite athletes, most of them are Olympians.
Oh, wow.
Jeff Galloway, he came and really mastered the run walk method. I mean, he got an Olympic medal by run walking.
Oh, interesting.
Now, he did it really fast.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he shown people that running is not running a marathon is not for like the elite 5-minute milers anymore. That we can do it, anybody can run it.
That's great.
At the X there, I highly recommend you meet him. He is the nicest guy. I've only met him maybe 4 times, but he remembers me.
No,
he remembers my kids.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an amazing man.
That's pretty cool.
He's a wealth of information, and he will take time to talk to you and answer your questions. He doesn't just rush you through handshakes and stuff. He's great.
Neat.
A lot of people will go with Greg McMillan, another great run coach, and they have free things online, or you can sign up for their training programs and stuff. But there's the wealth of information online.
Sweet. So tell me what you told me about the shoes, because this is something I did not know. I was like, really?
So getting your, when you start running, the next thing we say, okay, so we decide we're going to run this race. The first thing I'll ask you is, how old are your shoes? What kind of tennis shoes do you have? And like, how long have you had them? Most people are like, well, I've had these pairs of shoes for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, well, you need a new pair of shoes, because we got to take care of our feet, because we're going to be spending the most time on it. I always recommend you go to a local running store and you get fitted properly for a pair of running shoes. You get a gait analysis where they watch you, they video record you on a treadmill to see if your ankles turn in or if your ankles turn out, and how your form is. and then they'll find shoes according to, like, if you pronate, if your ankles turn in, or if your ankles turn out, they'll find the right stability neutral shoe for you. They might recommend an insert to help, if you have flat arches and things like that.
Lots of variables at play.
Yeah, and then for us females, I say get proper fit for a sports bra.
Support.
You want a good fit. Yeah, you gotta protect the girls.
I mean, me being brand new and not knowing any of this, I'm posting pictures online of me like jogging and stuff. And my one friend who's a runner, she's like, you're going to want to put away the cotton t-shirt. I was like, what?
Yes.
And then she goes and tells me, you know that some people lose toenails, right? And I was like, whoa, what did I sign up for? I am seriously reconsidering this decision. But I could see, I mean, shoes would probably play a huge part in that, right?
Yes, it does. And the toenails typically get lost once you start running the really like longer distances.
Okay. So my toenails are probably safe?
Yes, keep them clipped. Okay. I also recommend, it's harder for men, they don't like it, but to go and see it and get pedicures.
Oh, okay.
Get your feet treated. Don't have them, take those calluses off, tell them to rub them down, but don't shave them off because you need those calluses. That's how you just got to build those calluses. So I always tell my pedicurist, and she knows now, or if she's working with someone else, she's like, no, she likes those.
She needs to keep those.
I keep my calluses, but trim my nails.
Okay, trim nails, get fitted. Yeah. I'm a little bit reluctant just because my shoes are like so well broken in. And so I kind of feel like, but I'm going to have to break in new shoes and I have to get used to them. But I mean, I hear you. I just need to do it. it. Okay.
And they're broken in now, but in 3 weeks, they'll be like past their prime.
Because now, I'm wearing them so frequently now.
And you want shoes just for running. So you don't wear them for, doing other things. You don't go running errands in them and things like that. I mean, you really just want to have a pair of shoes just for running.
Okay.
Yeah. For running, I have a pair for running on trails. I have, you get specific pairs of shoes for specific things at this point.
Okay, fancy schmancy. Yeah. So if someone is, you hear the term like couch to 5K, what is the amount of training that someone has to do to go couch to 5K, couch to 10K, half and a full marathon? How much time is someone looking at committing toward that goal?
Well, a typical beginner runner, a couch to 5K, is between 8 and 10 weeks.
Okay.
Depending on how frequently they've run in the past. If they've never run, I typically will do a 10-week plan. I'll give them 2 weeks to really just get used to running.
Okay.
And then start building what they call your base mileage for another 2 weeks. Or then once you're used to running, we get you we incorporate different terminology and pacing and things like that. And then we work in speed for the next 2 weeks. And then the last 4 weeks is a little more endurance. And then we back it out to, it's called, sorry, to relax your legs and get you, ready for a race day.
Okay. And then if somebody's looking at, I'm going to go full marathon, how long is that going to be for them?
So a 10K half marathon is typically can start at 12 weeks. You can do 16 if you really want to build a large base. For a marathon, a beginner, I usually tend to do 20-week plans to really get adjusted to, the running. And
so help me with the math. 20 weeks, that would be like 5 months. Does that sound right?
Yes. Yeah. It's right about that. But training for a marathon is almost like another full-time job. So it's really, learning the schedule of it and getting adjusted to that. So you really want those extra weeks to just, mentally adjust, physically adjust before the actual training begins.
Okay. And speaking of adjusting your schedule and your life, what type of dietary changes do you need to make when you are looking at a long distance race?
Well, so it depends on what your current dietary, needs are now. So if most people
Doritos
are healthier,
and Twinkies. I mean, that's where I'm at. No, I'm kidding. No, but, going from your typical, I would say someone who is not a complete junk food eater, but not like super healthy, your typical maybe, hey, I eat McDonald's once a week, but I usually try and be good. Like, do they need to incorporate more protein or more carbs, more water? I know you were saying.
Yeah, hydration is key. Fueling, you really want to have a good balance of proteins, carbs, and healthy fats.
Okay.
Every body is different. Everybody's nutritional needs is different. You're seeing more ads now. I've been seeing a lot of ads on Facebook, and I've been doing some deep dive into some nutritional variants on, especially for me, because I did really well for a while, and now I hit 40, 42, and my hormones are all out of whack. And what was working for me at 39 is no longer working for me. That makes sense. So now I have to.
Everybody's different, like you said.
Grows. I have to work my calories, and right now I'm working with a calorie cycling where some days I'm heavier protein days, lighter carbohydrate days, just to get my metabolism reworking with all these extra lovely 40 hormones.
Bless.
So, but everybody's different. Yeah. But you just look for a healthy diet, and everything in moderation.
Sure.
That's kind of how I look at it.
Okay, because you are burning calories running all the time, so that's
the time.
Good
and you will be hungry, and so you just gotta be mindful of what you're putting in your mouth. I mean, I always say you want to fuel 2 hours before you train. At least, so that way it gives your stomach and your digestive system time to process all that and go to the bathroom and stuff before you go. And then after you run, within 45 minutes, you want to refuel with something, a banana, a protein shake, something to replenish what you've lost. But, try not to go out and eat 4 cheeseburgers.
Sure, yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking from experience where I've run races and then I want to eat 4 cheeseburgers,
So how does that work?
Depending on the race.
I know that the half marathon begins at 5:30, so does that mean you are up at 3 so that you can eat something 2 hours ahead of time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And you got to make sure you
Losing
get on
your
the bus by the time
up in the middle of the night. Just keeps getting better and better.
Yes.
Okay.
And I like to get to the races early, so I get on the bus at 3:30.
All right. I can't wait.
Bring one of the towels with you to because it's cold on the bus, so bring something to keep you warm or something that you can throw away. I've now been collecting my boys, now that they're taller and bigger than me. I've been collecting a lot of their old shirts, long sleeve shirts that I take with me to races, so then I can donate it and drop it, as they go start line.
And this is perfect because I feel like what we're talking about kind of builds into my next question. So just any other tips for you've done all the training, you're ready, it's race day. What can someone do to ensure that race day is going to be a successful one? Bring different things, get there early.
Yes. Yeah, you get there early within a comfortable time frame, get a good night's sleep, hydrate 2 days before. You want to start hydrating and eating properly. Don't try not to eat newer foods. So it's very hard when you travel for a race, but I mean, since you know Disney and your body is adjusted to the Disney food, just know what foods to eat and not eat.
Okay.
So for me, when I go to Disney and I run the races, if I'm going to be in the parks the day before, my favorite restaurant is in Morocco. So I would actually make an appointment to eat in Morocco, because my favorite thing to eat before race day, and we all have our pre-race meals. I can't digest beef very well, so I'll do the leg of lamb, their braised lamb.
Ooh, okay.
Best thing in the whole wide world.
Love
and
lamb.
All that my daughter and I talk about every time we go. We're going to go eat in Morocco and have this braised lamb. It falls off the bone with the couscous. And so I typically have some sort of lamb, some sort of sweet potato, and a glass of red wine.
Okay.
That is like my traditional pre-race. The night before, I make sure I have at least my glass of wine. And for me, it helps me fall asleep quicker.
Okay.
And 2, it takes my mind off of what the next day is to bring.
There's a big
I don't want to have that
the next day. Well, I can't wait to go and to create my own brand new traditions, because maybe this won't be my only Disney race. Maybe I'll do more in the future, and I'll have my go-to place that I go to before every race. Oh, well, Lissett, it is a Disney show.
You know, and it starts with training, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
My last.
Well, and this will start before every training run too. You'll have what works for you, that meal before your long runs, and that's how you develop your pre-race meal. That's how.
Okay, so as I'm training, I'll kind of get a feel for what that's going to be for me. Okay, good to know. So, Lissett, it is a Disney show. I've got to ask you, what is your favorite thing about Disney? It can be a Disney movie. It could be an attraction at the parks. It can be a favorite resort, anything like that. What do you love about Disney?
Oh, my goodness. So when you sent me this, it's I don't know if I have one favorite thing. I mean, I've been a Disney fan since I was 7 years old when my parents took me to Disney World for the first time. I think Epcot is pretty much one of my favorite parks.
Love it.
There is so much to do, even with little ones. Once you realize that, you can get their little passports and you can go and they can get the stamps and, and find the little hidden Easter eggs and do the scavenger hunts. Epcot becomes a fun place, and we actually enjoy going there. My youngest is a 9-year-old, 9 now. I have an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old, and we always love hitting Epcot ever since they were little. Other than that, nothing beats the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom.
I know.
You I always try to. I hit the Magic Kingdom for the fireworks. It's just
can't
magical.
Miss it. If you're there, you're at Walt Disney World. You have to take in some Magic Kingdom fireworks every single time for sure. And my son is 9. He's turning 10. We're going for his birthday next year, and the park he wanted to go to on his birthday, Epcot. It's a crowd pleaser.
Well, good.
Everybody loves it. Well, Lissett,
it really is.
Where can people find you if they are looking for more information? What kind of social media outlets do you have so that they can get a hold of you if they're interested in more things about your coaching?
Okay, well, as you stated in the beginning, my husband and I, we have a podcast. We have about 17 episodes out currently. We've had to take a break because my husband's injured. But so the Running Couple Podcast, and if you want to email me, it's Lissett at running-couplepodcast. My Instagram, all our socials, you can find us through Running Couple Podcast.
Podcast is everything. Okay.
If you want to find me personally through Instagram, it's Lissett_runner.
Okay.
So, other than that, yeah.
Well, awesome. It has been an absolute blast having you on the show today, and I cannot wait to go on this journey with you toward my first half marathon in January. It's going to be real. Yes. I don't even know. I can't even say it's going to be fun yet, but I know it's going to be real. It's going to be an experience, and I'm so excited to go on this road with you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you, Melanie, for having me. It is an honor to be your run coach and to help you through this journey. That's what my goal is always to focus on running as a journey. It isn't just finishing the race, but it's what happens to you, how you change while you're training. Every training run, every run you do, every race that you run, you become a different person. You learn something more about yourself. And it's always a goal of mine to help anyone achieve something different or more special about what they've done. So thank you again for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And, I look forward to seeing more episodes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lissett. If you enjoyed this video today, please consider giving it a thumbs up and go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you don't miss out on any of the Disney fun. Until next time, this is Melanie from Lend Me Your Ear saying we'll chat again soon.